I'm Casey Redbeard, and this video is called Why Big Cities and Social Media Make Women Terrible People, okay? Fact of the matter is this, boys. I had a revelation I'd like to share with you guys. If women treated their friends, family, business partners, coworkers, etc., the way that they treated men when they had access to social media in a big city, they'd be fired from their jobs and disowned by their friends and family. You can't truly appreciate anything in this life unless there is some degree of scarcity. If you had a son that you had raised and that son died, but you had a magical cloning machine, his death wouldn't bother you that much. The reason, like, you have one son or one daughter, you put so much, time and effort raising, right? Like everything, cars, rare watches, everything that's valuable by definition has some degree of scarcity. In a big city, when girls have social media, no guy could possibly be special, and they treat us like garbage, at least in the initial stages, right? I'm going to make an analogy for you. I'll do my Jordan Peterson voice. This is a rant that Jordan Peterson went on with his Kermit the Frog voice. He said, I'll do the rant like him. He's like, it's completely unnatural. A 9-year-old with an internet connection can see more boobs than the kings of kings and the pharaohs of ancient Egypt. In one afternoon, an 8-year-old can see more boobs and more scandalous acts of sex than King Solomon or any of these people could see in their whole lives. It's unnatural. And I get it. It is Yo, comment thumbs up if you like the Jordan Peterson impression. Leave a comment if you like that. Yeah, but he's right. It's completely unnatural. Like the male brain was not meant to be like, okay, well, I'm going to watch an Asian and a black chick have a threesome while the black girl is kissing the Asian, and then they're going to do this, and then a donkey's going to enter the room while it's all being filmed on a yacht. Okay, now on a different video of this crazy scenario going on. Like, it's not natural. That's why porn is so bad, but you're not meant to like look at shit like that that's going to fry your dopamine that much. That's an analogy. For women, that their brains can't handle this. It is not natural. It's the most unnatural thing to have a hailstorm, a hurricane whirlwind storm of attention, sugar daddies, compliments, gifts, etc., thrown at them 24/7. Even a beautiful girl in a big city, many, many moons ago, before this terrible thing called social media came out and ruined the world, if she wanted to meet a bunch of guys and get a bunch of attention, listen, women tended to work. There always been like escorts and sugar babies and stuff like that. But assuming most, women in the 60s and 70s, like, kind of started getting out and working a little bit. I guess in the 50s, maybe they didn't. The women didn't work too much. But you got what I'm saying. Let's say in the 80s, the 1980s, women were kind of getting out of the house, they were working. She may have some, normal-ish daily routine. Maybe she's on a college campus, she can meet a lot of guys, but, other than that, even on a college campus, unless it's like a massive college campus, after, 1 or 2 semesters there, you met most of the guys, you recognize most of the faces there. It's not this, constant thing of new guys. And then she would have to go out to get like new impressions, new at-bats, new opportunities with new guys. They would involve staying out late, putting on painful high heel shoes, spending hours during her makeup, going to the club, getting there, dealing with the drunk, annoying guys that are going to flirt with her in between when the high value hot guys talk to her. It was a lot of effort. Like, she has to like do all these things. And maybe she goes out, on average, 3 or 4 times a month, maybe 4 or 5 guys hit on her. She receives 15 to 25 impressions all month. A beautiful girl on a dating app or on an Instagram or any form of social media receives more than 25 impressions or opportunities per day. So before social media, and again, forget small town girls. Small town girls might get like an opportunity, like an at-bat with a truly successful, hunky, even like somewhat above average guy. Bro, they may get like a few a month. A few a month. These girls get a few an hour now. And it's very relevant with the way that we are treated. So, like I said, no matter how badly I'm just taking my notes here. This is the thing too. No matter how badly they act, no matter how bad of a personality, lack of a personality that they have, no matter how entitled they are, how rude they are, no matter how many times they drop the ball on a date because they only talk about themselves, because I don't know, they're just unbearable, they're masculine, they're giving shit tests or just being mean all night. Like a shit test when the girl says, "Oh, that belt doesn't match your shoes. Oh, you're only 5'11"? Most guys I date are at least 6 feet or above. Oh, you only make $250K? My ex made $400K, right? no matter how many times she like, loses a guy, there's 19,000 more to take their place. I did a video where I was talking about my dating experience in Guadalajara. I'm not going to repeat that video. You can go look for it. It'll be like one or two uploads away from this. It's called like my crazy dating experience in Guadalajara. But being in a big city like Guadalajara, 5.5 million people, um, the flake, like the lack of respect that they have, the lack of integrity that they have in terms of wasting a man's time. Like I was walking with my friend back from the gym, and I'm like, you know what? If I just spit on this guy's car, like that's just something universally in society we know is like an extremely rude thing to do. But why isn't like wasting a man's time considered like rude? Like, why is it okay to like get on an app, match with a whole bunch of guys, get their hopes up, chat with them, waste their time, pretend you're going to go on a date with them, ultimately flake them, get taken out by them only because you want free food or you want to try the top restaurant in your city? You're not so much to give them as a kiss or any type of physical affection whatsoever when you know that's what he wants and you're just going to use him for a free meal. Why is this not considered rude? Why are they never scolded in society? Why does it like just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna pull out my dopamine compliment attention for men video game called Bumble, called Tinder, called Hinge, and I'm gonna receive endless compliments. And look, maybe some guy wants to fly me to south of France. Maybe one guy wants to buy me tits. Maybe some guy wants to pay my rent. Maybe some 6'5", 1 in a million genetics male model Giga Chad, wants to have sex with me, and I'm gonna take the shot, right? But whatever it is, they're taking some shots. But for the most part, they're just using guys for validation and ghosting. And this isn't just me. This is my friends. I had a whole other read about this. I have a Portuguese fitness model guy. Again, no homo. He has a 10 face. He has a 10 body. He's rich. He's insanely charismatic. He's literally, again, he's only like 5'10". So you can maybe say on the height, he could do a little bit better. But except for, and he's not short. He's, 5'10", 5'11". Other than that, other than the height, which is, average is slightly above average, he's literally maxed out on every other stat. Again, money, looks, confidence, charisma, just like happy, easygoing. I mean, a lot of, not all of them, but a lot of like guys who are truly like tens because they never get harsh blowouts. Girls flirt with them, girls approach them sometimes. Like they almost live life as like kind of like a hot girl themselves in some ways. So he has that typical like, no homo, but like typical like hot guy, easygoing disposition where he's just a bit carefree because he's got it like that, right? Even he was struggling in certain dating markets like Florianopolis. He said Florianopolis, Brazil, he couldn't get a girl above a 6.5 to not flake on him and ghost him. So they would answer the DMs, they would send voice notes back and forth, they send, selfies in the moment. But when it came time to getting a date, he was getting flaked constantly. Now that city has a big pay for play problem, I think. Also, I just think that people from certain cities only want to date other people from that city. They have like these weird like elitist cultures where like maybe they're interested in foreigners. They want to talk. He was Portuguese and he's, was in Florianopolis, Brazil. So he ain't Brazilian. He speaks Portuguese natively, different accent, the same language. So he's kind of one of them, but at the same time, he definitely ain't one of them, right? So even he was struggling. So what's the solution, right? I don't want this to be like, a complainy wham 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 video. We'll get some quick solutions. Listen, in my free community, I have more in-depth guides on exactly how to do this. If you want to connect with me, you can go to my Instagram. Again, there's a link in the description of the video. Message me the word audit, AUDIT, RedBeardRants1 is my Instagram, and I can chat with you, show how I build, automated systems for meeting women on Instagram, blah, 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 how to find all the hottest girls in your city and use Instagram as a much better dating app than Bumble or Hinge ever would be. Higher quality girls, more of them, better personalities, no weird algorithm, like just message who you want. You're not like in a, Instagram is presumably like, 50-50 guys and girls. You're not in like a, 15 or 20 to 1. Like that's why your profile isn't being shown, by the way, because there's like 20 guys to every one girl. And like, did you guys know this? The ratios are just insane. So Instagram's better. Hit me up if you want to do that. But the quick solutions are like, listen, be honest where you stand. And if you want to date, an 8.5 in most cities these days, like most dating markets of the world, a few exceptions, right? You're an average, a slightly above average looking white guy. You're in like a small town in the Philippines. Okay, maybe it could happen. It's still kind of doubtful even now. But like, could you like still find some tremendous foreigner advantage? Maybe. But you got to be honest about where you stand, where your social media presence stands, where your confidence stands, where your social skills stands, where your game stands, where your networking stands, where your wallet and finances stand. And if you want an 8.5 and you're not like a hunky, sub 45, or probably even, 35-year-old guy max, you're gonna have to bring money into the equation. Straight up. You're just gonna have to bring money into the equation somehow, and it's probably gonna end up in tragedy and failure. This would be something that, like, there's certain, like, drugs you can maybe, like, only take under a doctor's supervision. Only bring money into dating if you're strictly doing it under my supervision because I don't recommend it, and, like, there could be potentially a correct way to do it, and, I've coached some guys who are like, "Listen, like, I just wanna date 10s and I'm fat and old, but, like, help me make it happen." We figured out ways to get at least semi-sincere relationships with some sugaring, never prostitution. I don't condone that. I don't recommend, passport bros go to other countries to bang a bunch of hookers. Like, and if you want to do that, I ain't gonna judge you for it. It's just not what I talk about or want to give advice or help you out with. There's plenty of other YouTube channels and resources you can go for tricking, right? You just don't have to be here. Aim for smaller cities. Again, this whole video is about how it's a combination of social media and big cities. The two of them combined is like lethal in terms of yeah, making girls just like unbearable, masculine, rude, weird, etc. If you're just looking for a wifey, you're like, for wifey, there's no sugaring at all, and you want to just like have fun and romp and go on adventures and experience a lot of variety, like taste a lot of the local cuisine. You know what I'm saying? You can mix in some sugaring for short term as well, but for long term, like I said, unless it's strictly under my supervision, don't do it at all. And it could, even if I'm giving you like the best advice possible, I can still very likely end in disaster if you're like bringing money into it. And then test a lot of different markets, but don't get like I was saying the Guadalajara video. I can cold approach girls that look like a Christmas tree. I can text girls or meet them online, Instagram, Bumble, whatever it is, and they are super down. But then when it comes time to meet up, they flake. So don't like test the dating market by putting your Bumble, Tinder, Hinge location there, and then you get a whole bunch of matches, a whole bunch of eager girls flirting with you, and you go, oh, XYZ place is a good dating market. It's very likely you show up and you get up to a 90 to 99% flake rate. Goiânia, Brazil was literally a 99% flake rate. I went on 2 dates in 3 weeks after 200 matches combined on Bumble, Tinder, and Instagram. A match on Instagram is when you follow a hot random girl you've never met. She doesn't know who you are, but you follow her. She likes what she saw, so she immediately goes and follows you back, and you start flirting over DMs. That's a match, right? Instagram is a dating app. It can be used as a dating app anyway, and that is what a match is on Instagram. So 200 matches combined across all platforms and 2 dates. Dating is a full-time job as a guy. These fucking bitches have no clue how good they have it. They lazily answer. They fire off 1 or 2 word messages whenever they want. They'll say, oh, sorry, I was busy all weekend. Like, I'll text some bitch on fucking Friday afternoon. She texts me Monday. Oh, sorry, I had a busy weekend. Imagine like your mom or your business partner. Oh, sorry, business partner. And I get it. You're not business partners. This is a random person met an app, but I'm just saying, like, if it were to work the other way around, if like the guy, imagine being on Bumble, right? And so a girl that they have to open you. She says, hey, she opens you. And then you answer 3 days later. Oh, hey, sorry. It's been a busy weekend. But yeah, what's up? What's going on? Imagine her like respond, oh, it's okay. You had a busy, no, you're fucking gone. Like, you need like when you match with somebody, you're supposed to equally enter the evaluation stage and see if this is gonna go somewhere and do what the fuck the intention of what the goddamn app was for. AKA fucking meet up, goddamn it. Or two-way interview each other to eventually get to a meetup, right? And the last thing, I mentioned this in the Guadalajara video as well. Outsource as much as possible. Get an online dating virtual assistant. They're really hard to do if you want to do anything besides just sourcing. If you want them to like talk on your behalf and pretend it to be you, it's gonna be rough going. We can help with that only in English speaking markets for the time being, not in Spanish markets. And it's really tough, and you're likely to just crash and fail. It's really hard to get someone who will, unless you're just rich, unless you can pay like an actual professional like 4 or 5K to do this. It's very hard to get someone who has any actual skills or riz or charisma to pretend to be you and pass off the interaction to you, say after 15 to 16 messages, like a good, and again, they can still drop off even after a lot of, but it's just, he'd be cutting out, 70% of the muck for you. So, be honest where you stand, understand if you want to throw in sugaring, although it's probably going to be a disaster. Go aim for smaller cities, like third world, disgusting, broke shitholes. Because again, like There's just too many rich guys. Any girl that doesn't look like complete garbage, any girl that like remotely looks kind of good. And here's the thing, they're being judged their value on how they look online. They don't look like that in real life. So even the sixes look like eights online now, and they're getting the validation, the attention, and like the caliber of guy as if they were an eight, and they're only a fucking six. They can catfish themselves. Girls are fucking monsters. They're wizards with this Photoshop stuff. So they just don't value. They just don't care. They'll respond back when they want. You know, this is again, we're talking about big city girls. So go for small towns, go for shit third world cities with a small population, and hit me up if you want some help. Check the video description. Cheers.